And so we figure that east shoulder is blocking the view of the whole plateau.
Right, the west shoulder blocks the view of the plateau, and likewise the east, you can't see where you assume that the north and south trails must meet.
Right.
And recording's on. Excellent.
Yeah, just in the case I miss any mapping details.
No, that's fine. I love that you're doing that.
Not that it's helping much, mind you.
Oh, and by the way, I have a note here from the players in my face-to-face campaign. They all wish you the very best of luck.
Oh, no.
We're going to need it.
You very well might. A, B, got it. North, southeast. Heck, we'll kick off 2 minutes early. All right, gentlemen, last time we left you in the chat, you were standing on the bulwark area of the sky dock. All you found down the bottom was some dust and some birds' nests. It's still fairly early in the day. There is a trail going down from the summit to the north towards what you assume is the north path. One going southeast towards what you know is the south path. You have not been to the east of the mountain. You know of a secret door and a large boulder on the south slope of the mountain, and you know of a secret door at the base of the wall you're standing on, but none have been opened. What do you do?
I believe, James, the plan was to go back down the mountain and gather up a group to actually go in.
Yeah, I'm okay with that plan. It sounds like...
Because I don't have any of my henchmen with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Calvin,
so which path are you go? You're going to retrace your steps? You're going to, if that north trail does go down the north path, it's going to cut your time back to the Boma in half over retracing your steps.
But we have the mercenaries collecting gravel, don't we?
Yeah, we want to pick up the people on the south side anyway.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're southeast. All right.
How long did it take to go up though?
Going up took you about 45 minutes, but going down is only going to take you about 30 because it's much easier going down that hill.
Oh yeah.
And how long does it take to get back to the Boma from the plateau?
You'd say about another 30 minutes max.
Okay, so we can reasonably come back today. I was wondering if we were going.
Gracious, yes. A round trip from here to the Boma to grab some tea and lunch and come back would be no more than 3 hours.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
It's about 10 a.m., what they call nonce.
Because I was wondering if we want to loop around and check some of the other paths on the way back down. Careful.
How many henchmen did we bring up? How many did we leave? Because
I think we only brought Quint up, and we left Allington and Wenley with the mercenaries.
I'll say Wenley and Allington are managing the mercenaries. Quint came with you, and everyone but the mercenaries, as I understand it, is still back at camp, other than the PCs.
How about this? How about Quint and I just stay up here? We'll wait for you while you run down, tell the mercenaries and the other henchmen to head back to the camp once they're full, and then we can go down the north trail. Just scout that out.
Okay.
So a couple of you stay behind. The rest go get the mercenaries. Do you return to the Boma as well, or come back with the mercenaries? Just to be clear.
What were you thinking, Careful?
I'm thinking you go down the mountain to inform the mercenaries that you're going to take, that you, I, and Quint are going to take another route down the mountain.
Okay.
So you're just going to inform them, don't wait for us. Wait for us once you're full, return. You know?
But we're all going back to the Boma, is that what you're saying?
Well, we'll go back to the Boma, but you, I, and Quint will take a different route.
Okay, so Calvin and Guffaway are going down to talk to the mercenaries then?
Yeah, we can actually dispatch them. That's a good way to do it.
Okay.
All right, just as you guys are starting to split up, you hear in the sky another strange sound, the beautiful laughter of a woman laughing very heartily from very far in the sky. But you see and hear nothing. Two of you go down the southeast, tell the mercenaries they understand as soon as they're done with their job, they'll head back to the Boma. They think it'll be no more than 20 more minutes. The two of you that go down the north path, it's actually only about
Three of
30
us.
minutes. Excuse me?
3 of us. It's
Three of you, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
The three of you that go down the north path, it's only about 25 minutes to the base of the North Trail, and you see a trail curving off to your left, to the west. Ahead of you, by the way, it's very sheer. You're basically on the edge of a cliff that goes down at least a full kilometer. And to your right, the path goes to the north, and you can see it curving around the north edge of the mountain.
what were the
Okay.
two routes
And
again?
so there was a path like that on the south side as well that curved around the south side of the mountain.
Okay.
Do you head west to the MoMA?
James?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we can look around the backside later.
You actually beat the other group back by a fair amount. And while you're waiting for them, you can see some of the improvements that have been made in the Boma while you've been busy today. Looks very good. One of the mercenaries told you that they saw a great winged figure with something on his back. It looked like a great bird with a person on his back, but it was so high up they couldn't tell if it was a gigantic bird with a human or a small bird with a fairy on it. But they said they didn't feel any fear. It just was very strange. Shortly, you're joined by the rest of the players and henchmen, and you're all at the Boma. By now, it's about 11:15 in the day.
We'll click lunch, and then I think we'll prepare to go back into the mountain.
Your timing's perfect. The two women that you rescued have tea and hot food and even some bread waiting for you by the time you get there. So it's a quick, what they call standing lunch in the military, and before you know it, you're back on your way up.
Okay.
Which
Right.
path will you be taking?
Well, which henchmen are we taking? I guess is my
Good point.
I brought Ellington last time. I'd like to bring Quint, but you're probably bringing your hedge mage too.
I'll bring both of mine.
Okay.
Okay. Good idea. Good idea.
Just since we don't have, since we're missing players right now, I think we can just use henchmen instead.
Very good idea.
Well,
So you use the south
leave
path, the
Calvin.
north path, or go into the cavern.
What do you think, Yuri? Do you want to do one of the secret doors, or
I want to check out that boulder.
let's go through the boulder?
So you're halfway across the plateau. You see the mercenaries coming towards you. They've got a massive load of gravel. They think that's going to be more than enough to set up some caches of food and other things. And they did say that they did hear the giggling or laughing from the sky, but didn't see anything. And before you know it, it's actually less than an hour. You're back at this boulder, which again is about the size of a city bus, a little wider. And there's the mark still there that you can see, the wizard mark where the secret door is. What next?
So just to clarify, did we leave Calvin at the Boma then?
I think we did.
Okay. And what about Guffaway?
Is that Cassie's character?
Yeah, that's her character.
Let's bring her along.
Okay. If we left Calvin, then I think I will bring Allington as well then.
Okay.
Quint is your hedge
All right.
mage, right?
So now what?
Open the door.
Yeah, we'll open the door. I'll lead the way in.
Who's first?
I am.
All right.
Just because I feel more effective with my melee weapons than my ranged weapons.
Sure.
I'll be right after. Nor will be right after that. Or
You hear some soft music coming from out of nowhere.
Does it sound like from inside or from outside?
From inside, and in front of you, it's very strange. You can see that there's an empty room on the far side, but there's a bit of a shimmering shadow between you and it. So you can see that it's there, but none of the light from the inside of the boulder comes out. It's very odd. It confuses the eye a great deal. But from what you can see, the inside of the boulder is one massive room, about 40 feet long. It's vaguely oval. It's much longer than it is wide, but vaguely oval. Against the far wall is a long bench that's covered in some sort of fabric. And far off to your right, towards the northeast, as the boulder aligns, at the very far end, there's an oval of black glass. You can see this clearly, even though there's no light coming out of the room. And again, you're very confused, but you know that it's true.
What way does the doorway face?
The doorway is basically in the southwest end of the boulder, so it's on the long axis of an elongated oval, and you're looking the length of the boulder. So on your left, the northwest side is a long curved bench covered in fabric. At the far end is an oval of black glass.
Do I see any signs that there's been recent movement inside?
You don't see anything recent, but you again, your vision is very disturbed and disordered. You may have to step through this shadow barrier to see clearly enough.
Okay, I'll step through the barrier.
So the door is in the southwest and the bench is in the northwest?
Yes, the bench is along the northwest wall, which is the long axis of the boulder. Okay. As you step inside, you see that the ground is covered in what looks like some sort of thick fabric. The walls have sheets, some sort of patterning on them that appears to be textured. And there's a very faint glow coming from the entire ceiling. The bench to your left, as you face along the length of it, is a very rich red color. And the fabric looks sort of curved and soft. And now that you're inside, you can see that there's some sort of moving image on the glass at the far end.
How deep is the room from the door to the glass?
From where you're standing at the door to the glass is about 40 to 45 feet.
Okay.
You also see that there's some sort of strange oval disc in the very middle of the boulder next to the bench that's flush with the floor, but there's no fabric there.
Okay. Do I recognize the style of music at all?
It's completely unfamiliar to anything you've ever heard.
What does Quint make? Is Quint stepped through yet?
If you want him to, sure. He has no idea of anything about what's going on in this room.
I expect the same result, but for Millicent?
Absolutely, completely alien to all of you.
Okay.
All right, and so we see a fabric floor with a glass disc or an open space in the middle without fabric.
Correct.
Middle of the room? Open space?
Say that again?
Open space, middle of the room? That's what I heard?
Like in the middle of the room is the space in the floor. It's about 3 feet long and 1.5 feet wide that appears to be made of some sort of ivory that has none of the fabric the rest of the floor has on it.
Interesting. Okay. What does the moving image on the glass across the room look like?
Well, that's the odd part. It appears to be sort of swirling colors. You can see a vague outline of lines that looks almost like a map. And superimposed over it, above it, is a mixture of red and yellow and green colors that move in a very particular way and then stop and reset and then move again and then stop and reset. And across the bottom of the oval, there's a band of blue, and you see runes scrolling from left to right across that band.
Does Quint recognize the runes?
He says it looks like it's some form of ancient Kadari. And it's just saying the names of towns and numbers, names of villages and numbers over and over again.
And what colors are included in the overlay?
There's a little patch of red surrounded by yellow, and then at the edges green. And that's just covering part of this. It's some sort of, it vaguely looks like a map of Seaward, actually.
Okay. And you're saying there's like concentric circles of red, yellow, and green?
It's not concentric. They're very fractal. They're very mixed and jumbled. It looks like, by the way, that's what the oval looks like. There's a little panel next to it with 1, 2, and 3, and then a circle under it. You can see that in the skull in the dice channel image. I just sent out the picture.
Okay. And the colors are moving and changing over the map.
They sort of move in a sort of clockwise pattern, stop, and then snap back to where they started and move again, and then snap back to where they started over and over again. And the music is coming from this oval.
Sounds like Doppler radar weather plot based on your description so far.
Actually,
not that
yeah,
Lyle-
it does.
Is there anything else in the room? I'm going to examine
What you see other than that is in the very middle of the bench, near to where that patch on the floor is, there's a strip of what looks like wood on the bench with no fabric, and there's a simple little button there.
Okay. I'd like to examine the empty space in the middle and see if there's any sort of device there, that if it can move at all.
You know, it looks like it could raise or lower because there's a firm lip around it, but you have no idea how that would work.
Well, want to play with the dials?
Oh, that circle could be a dial, huh?
It's numbered, isn't it? 1, 2,
There's
3.
three buttons above
I
it,
was,
and the
I was trying to figure out why there was one button, big
Whoop.
numbers, but
Only one of you guys can speak at a time.
yeah, sorry. I was trying to figure out why there was one button with 3 numbers, but a dial makes more sense.
What's it currently set at?
The dial, there's actually, when you look at it, there's very faint numbers that go from 1 to 10. And on the dial, around the top of the dial in a semicircle, and the dial itself has a little hash mark on it that's right at 5.
I'm gonna flip it to 1, or flip it to 4.
The music gets a little softer.
All the way down to 1.
What's that?
All the way down to 1.
Oh, the music's almost inaudible.
Okay, I put it back to up to 5. It's like, okay. The volume controls.
Yeah, volume controls, but I bet the 1, 2, and 3 are channel controls. I wonder if there's anything interesting on the other channels.
Oh yeah.
If you look closely, you can see that there's a very faint outline of white light around the number 1 button.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to do the honors, James?
Yeah, sure, I'll hit 2.
Okay, 2, the image changes immediately, and you see an owlbear. And the voice says, "The owlbear is one of the most dangerous predators known to the entire continent. They tend to live in large caves and will eat almost anything." And this continues with various images of owlbears chasing food, digging burrows, etc.
All right, how about 3?
When you switch over to 3, again, there's a strip on the bottom that shows numbers going by. Quint tells you those numbers are just 5 digits over and over again with the phrase "contact us." In front of you, you see a jar of what looks like some sort of pink wax, and there's a voice saying, "Do you have trouble with rust? Have you been attacked by rust monsters? Simply image the rune 7 to the large moon, and you too can have anti-rust wax delivered straight to your door."
What the fuck?
And then the guy starts talking about the amazing properties of this wax, how it's made from the rarest ingredients, and how if you coat your weapons in it, they will never rust and will be immune to the attack of rust monsters.
All right, well, I think the weather channel is probably the most useful one.
Yeah.
When you go back to the Weather Channel, you actually hear a voice say, "It's the top of the hour. The odds of rain today are 30%. We suggest you take your umbrella." And then it goes back to the soft music again.
Oh, wow. Does umbrella mean anything to us? Are those things that people use?
Oh, yeah, umbrellas are a thing.
Okay.
Umbrellas are a thing. They're, a matter of fact, the best are imported from Liang Daguo, but they're a thing.
What's Leon Daguo?
Liang Daguo is the land of the Yellow Emperor, far across the ocean, a vast nation full of magic and dragons. China land.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so the button on the bench. I guess I'm going to instruct everyone to stay clear from the blank ivory area in the center and push that button.
Sure. The bare patch in the floor smoothly lifts up slowly till it's about knee high, and then in the very middle of it, along a line,
Broke up.
it splits open. So it's about the size of the location of, say, a coffee table. But it splits down the middle along with short axes, and inside there are two sort of pockets, each about 2 feet wide and about 3 feet deep. One of them is full of ice in little cubes if it's been chopped out. And the other one is designed to hold 3 wine bottles effectively, but it's empty now.
Any glasses?
Well, now that you look around, at the edge of the table on each end, there's a sort of a shelf under the lips of it, under the wings of it, I should say, and it holds on one end 3 small tumblers of glass, very well made. And the other end, 3 tall glasses, also made of leaded glass, very well made.
Okay, then.
All right. I think I'll sweep the walls and see if I can find any kind of doors, but
I'd follow, but I don't think we're going to find any out of here.
The only thing that you find is at the very... Oh, by the way, the bench itself, it confuses you a little bit. It's actually soft when you touch it. It's not cloth or wood. There's some sort of padding underneath. It's softer than even a down mattress. Very comfortable to sit on or lay on. But at the very edge of the panel where the oval is, you find a piece of crumpled paper. And it says, receipt for 1 jar of anti-rust wax for Bridget, 500 gold pieces. And it has a date from 3 years ago.
Well, at least we know they use our same numbers, eh?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, it's actually written in Selwyn.
so it seems that she received a receipt here. Interesting.
What was on the southeast wall?
The entire thing is very smooth. You realize the wall is covered in some sort of very thick paper with a pattern printed on it.
Okay.
And the floor is actually individual sort of fibers of wool that have been dyed a color and are so thick that it's like walking on a blanket or on a thin pillow. And the more time you spend in here, you realize there's a very faint breeze and the air is perfectly cool and comfortable at all times.
Can we find where the breeze is coming from?
The odd part is, no, you can't.
How far up the path was this? How long did it take to get here?
From the plateau, 15 minutes maybe?
I wonder if it would be, I guess it's just as far to here as it is to the Boma. But I wonder if we might want to spend the night in here sometime, just for convenience.
I don't think my character's wise enough to disagree with that. He only has 9.
So the shadow in the front on the way in, did Quint have anything to say about that?
He actually thinks that it's some sort of illusion spell, perhaps an abjuration spell. But in his opinion, if you were to open because this place is lit, if you were to open the secret door at night, there would be no light coming out of it, so you couldn't see it in the distance. The door was open or shut.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm feeling the secret door at the dock then now. What do you think, Yuri?
I'd agree.
All right.
I have to say, you have the most subdued reaction to the boulder of any group ever.
I spent today in 80 degree heat, almost 80 degree heat, 80 degree heat, I think, for sure. Subdued is like, air conditioning.
Yes,
I think it's
winter, it's heated.
I think it's that we already have some awareness that there's ancient modern-like technology in the.
Well, the lava lamp kind of gave it all away, right?
Yeah, but we were even primed for the lava lamp.
I've read so much of your vlog, I'm not even surprised anymore.
Yeah, if I remember anything from the blog, it's that there's modern stuff hidden in Skull Mountain.
Absolutely.
I'm fairly sure,
All right,
there's the
so Kathy,
equivalent of a
take me
nuclear
up the mountain. Are
reactor.
you gonna-
Sorry.
As you leave the boulder, by the way, whenever you're away from the door of the boulder for more than 30 seconds, it very gently closes, but it's very easy to open.
Oh, good.
Are you going to head around all the way around the eastern edge, or are you going to go straight up the path from near the boulder to the top?
Well, what do you think?
We haven't explored the eastern edge, right?
Yeah, let's do the eastern edge.
Yeah.
Okay. About another 25 to 30 minutes past the trail that goes up to the summit that you've already used, ahead of you can see two things. One, you can see that this path swings on around towards the north. So you're pretty confident that this is indeed a big loop from the north path to the south path, all the way around the peak of the mountain. But inside that loop, under the shoulder of the mountain, so you have the very summit of the mountain, the sky dock, you have that elevated pathway with the bulwark, and then there's a shoulder. That's almost a sheer drop down there. There's just a ledge up about 40 feet. At the base of it, inside that loop, there is almost like a shallow funnel, no more than about 8 to 10 degrees of shattered rock. At first, you think that it's sheets of slate, but then you realize that's actually more of the granite that has actually been impacted so powerfully that it's sheared off into sheets of stone.
At the easternmost point?
What's that?
At the easternmost point of this route?
Right
or...
at the easternmost point of the summit of the mountain. This is going to be on the exact same level as the plateau, but on the eastern side. And this gentle incline is covered with sheets of shattered granite. And in the middle of it is a vast hole, 140 feet across, going straight down into the mountain.
140 feet deep impact.
It's 140 feet wide,
Okay.
and in the very middle of it is about, you'd say, 40 feet below the surface of the rest of the mountain. But it looks literally like something hit the mountain with enough force to drive a hole deep into it and shatter the granite into flakes around where it came in. But if this is true, it happened so long ago that the granite is weathered into sort of soft edges.
40 feet deep, you said?
Yes, 140 feet across, about 40 feet to the edge of the hole. The hole's 140 feet across, and it's 40 feet. So here, let me show you. I'll draw you a picture.
But yeah, either way, it's like that's a hefty impactor.
When we were using the binoculars to look around, which were any of the features we saw to the east?
It's almost as if the binoculars are placed in exactly the right position to miss all of this.
No, that's okay. But what was to the east? Was it High Morath?
From here east, the mountain just goes down towards a valley, a deep valley between here and Kafetch Draw.
That's
Oh,
the
okay.
tallest mountain in the range, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and there's a small glacier at the base of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically just bare rock for miles and miles, literally miles and miles from here to everywhere else to the east. And here we go. Let's use that. And now you get a better idea of what I mean, I hope. That should be loading in Dice Channel any second.
Let's see. North is Timberlake. South is Morath.
There you go. Oh, it's sideways, of course.
I can deal with that.
You can see my little sketch of the oval and the numbers at the top there. But yeah, so there's the mountain. There's the slope with the hole in the middle, and there's the path that goes around the whole thing.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So the Demon's Eye is to the east.
140 feet across.
So the hole's 140 feet across, and then 40 feet deep, or
Yeah,
are we
the
unable
hole
to
is
determine
that
the
slope.
depth?
The slope goes down 40 feet to the lips of the hole.
Okay.
And then we can't see the bottom of the hole.
You'd have to get a lot closer to look down the hole.
Fair enough.
Do I have my rope with me? I have my rope. I could slide down and take
I
a
got
look
some rope
over
too.
the lip.
Sure, you can do that. So who's going to get tied up and who's going to walk down there? And more importantly, I'm going to give you a DM hint. Can any of you fly?
No.
Okay, just checking. Calvin actually can tell you that he's got boots of levitation.
Oh, Calvin's not here though.
Yeah, it's a crying shame. But yeah, a rope around your waist is a good idea, but it's obviously you can get right down there. As a matter of fact, there's an odd sort of phenomenon within about 2 or 3 feet of the hole itself. You see none of the chunks of granite. It's just bare stone.
Oh, as if it's been swept clear.
Or as if anything that close has already fallen in, yeah.
Yeah. but nothing has fallen into that space in the same time.
You don't think so? It's been this thing is like a bullet hole in the earth. It's ancient.
Well, Norb and I would be willing to lower you down.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you start heading down. Give me a D20 against, and tell me what your dex is, please.
Boo, boo, boo. Dex is 12.
Okay, give me a D20. Let me roll a D6 real quick. Okay, good.
I believe the proper response here is oof.
That's great. You're well
Maybe.
below the number you need.
Yeah, maybe he wanted me to roll under my dex. I don't know.
So you got under your dex, which is great. You carefully go down there, and you realize the rocks on the edges just slip and slide. You're grateful for the rope, although you would have been safe on the way down. But it's almost like an antlion hill where things just slide towards the hole. But you carefully make your way to the edge, and below you can see a shaft dropping down into the earth. It's at least 120 to 140 feet wide at all times. And it goes so deep that even with the sun at noon, you can't see the bottom. You get a vague hint of something very far below. Very, very far below, but you have
But we're
no
talking
idea how
hundreds.
far down that must be.
Okay, but probably hundreds of feet or more.
You're guessing with the sun as bright as it is. Let's see here. Whatever it is you're seeing at the edge of your view is at least 1,300 feet down.
Okay, so no
And
use
the
using
shaft
a light.
obviously goes past that.
All right, pull me back up.
Okay, we can start hauling you back.
Okay.
And as you come hauling back, give me another D20.
Uh,
1d6.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you slip and fall, and some of the rocks that are around you slide off, and there's a cascade of granite into the hole. But you have a rope around you, so you're fine. It takes you a few seconds, I should say, but soon you're on your feet and climbing back up. But from deep inside the hole, you hear for just a second.
oh, good thing I didn't throw anything down when I was over there.
I was going to suggest that.
What do you think? Do I kick another rock down on purpose?
Nope. We'll keep hauling you back up.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. Is just as you get back up to the edge, you actually hear a strange sound. You hear a sort of a whir click, like, and then you hear the sound of, frankly, sizzling meat almost. Just a sound again, and you hear more, but much louder. And after a few seconds, the sound of the almost like lightning ends, the roaring ends, and then you hear another click.
Okay, I think the beast at the bottom just got shot with a las rifle.
Yeah, somebody's got our back.
Okay. Onward northward to the North Trail and then up to the top of the mountain.
All right, so you swing around the North Trail, and sure enough, not too far off that little sketch I made you see the trail going north, and it's a quick, you'd say 40 minutes from where you just were to get back up to the sky dock.
All right, excellent. Let's go check out that secret door.
All right, the secret door. Your half-orcish friend wants to check it for traps, by the way.
Oh, good.
She pulls out a wand and waves it over the door and says it's safe. All right. Who opens it?
Yeah, I'll open it.
Okay. In front of you is a tunnel that's a good 10 feet wide. It arches up to 14 feet above you. It's carved right out of the granite, and it goes 20 feet ahead of you, 20 feet to your north, and then turns left towards your west.
Okay, so 10 feet north? 10
Yep.
feet wide, 10 feet to 10 feet north?
Yep. It goes, so in other words, it's 10 feet, and then past that, it's 10 more feet, but it goes off to your left. So it's dead stop. Yep.
Okay, so it
I
goes
think
out
it's
10
40
feet, then
feet
an
long,
additional
right?
10 feet, and then turns left?
Yes, correct.
Okay, 10 and 10, then turns left.
Correct.
Okay. And the doorway is 10 feet wide? Or,
Correct. Mm-hmm.
okay, is it that
Made of
similar
granite
hour?
perfectly balanced pivot.
Say again?
Yeah, the door is made of solid granite on granite hinges and pivots with just a pinky push.
Okay, how deep is the door frame?
The stone door itself is 3 feet thick and must weigh at least 3 tons, but it's perfectly made.
Okay,
Wow.
it's a feet. How thick is the frame? The frame, though, from one side to the other.
Oh, you mean for the door itself? It's actually a 10-foot wide, 3 feet deep, 14-foot high plug of solid stone on stone hinges.
Okay.
A massive monolithic block.
All right. That's got to easily weigh several tons.
Easy. And what creeps you out is not only does it move with just almost a breath of a push, but it's virtually silent as it opens and closes.
Like listening to a well-oiled aircraft hangar.
Absolutely. It has to be dwarven made. Has to be. Nothing else can do that.
Okay.
All right. Gonna go open look over here.
Flush with continual light objects, so I'm going to assume you're well lit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Norm has
Actually,
his,
I'm not
sword.
gonna get that out until I look around the corner by something.
There's enough sunlight right now you can see around the corner, and just 40 feet down the corner, it ends in an iron spiral staircase going down.
Okay, 40 feet from the corner?
Correct.
Are we talking the northeast corner or the southwest corner?
You go north just 20 feet and turn left. West 40 feet. There's an iron spiral staircase going straight down. Well, not quite straight down. We'll talk about that.
And the corridor runs right into the staircase.
Right, and there's nothing else there.
Okay.
Let me grab my phone here for a minute.
Sure.
All right.
The difference of 10 feet could be death.
Well, wait till I tell you what's going on. You're going to love this.
Oh, yes.
As you guys approach the staircase and look down, you realize that it doesn't go straight. It has a weird sort of corkscrew helix motion as it floats down to the earth. It's going to be almost impossible to tell exactly where it goes as it goes down, as it twists and turns to the rock.
Is it descending?
Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I just wanted to check that was which corner measuring from was correct.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, that's exactly
Okay,
right.
and then it corkscrews down. And,
And it's not even any sort of consistent pattern. It's not like it's a regular corkscrew or helix. It just sort of wanders and moves back and forth through the rock.
okay.
And you said it was an iron staircase?
It is iron. It's a black iron, very old and is cold to the touch. You swear, and this doesn't make any sense, this is a single piece of wrought iron.
And is it touching rock beneath it, or is it?
It's embedded. Every step is actually sunk into the rock all the way down.
Okay. I was imagining Space Mountain spiraling down through the dark.
Oh, you know what? That's kind of where I got the idea, but I wasn't quite that brave when I was 14 and made this.
I'm fairly convinced that when you're 14, the reason that for all the funky math stuff or map stuff is just the fact you didn't measure it correctly.
You know, it was 50% that, and then I started realizing I was doing that. I started adding in purposeful features. So yeah, you're about 80% correct. Absolutely.
Yay. Well, like all great inventions, they kind of happen by accident.
So tell me about this fine trap spell. How long does that last?
Oh, she's the fine trap spell. What level? Let's see. It's gonna last you at least an hour.
Nah, I think we're good. I think we'll just descend the stair.
Okay. About how long does
right.
it take us to descend at dungeon speed?
If you're doing dungeon speed, going down is exactly the same as going through a corridor. So you're going to be doing about, in your case, about 90 feet every 10 minutes.
Okay.
And since the stairs they may twist and turn back and forth, the rise of the stairs is very regular. So you'll be able to calculate pretty exactly how deep you go.
Okay.
Okay.
And are the stairs noisy as we descend?
No, because they're anchored in the rock. You just hear the click of your boot heels on the metal. It's not ringing up and down and making a lot of racket. Not at all.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Good
Yeah, let's descend.
Okay.
Who's in
Lights
front?
it up. I will go in front.
Okay. So you go down and you go down and you go down about 90 feet. The staircase continues down, but it's in a 20 by 20 room. You assume that you're in the northwest corner of this 20 by 20 room. And in the southwest corner facing south is a door.
Southwest corner?
Correct.
Going diagonal?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
So, the western edge of the south wall, I should say. Thank you.
Okay, west edge of the south wall?
Correct.
Okay, give me a minute to draw this in.
Take your time.
It's
Again, the stairs continue down, but there is a door there in this little room. And the odd thing is on the north wall, just a few feet from the staircase, you see what looks like a shutter from a cottage, a wooden shutter.
Okay. Just one more detail before we address that.
Sure.
The door frames are the same as we were finding in the guard room as well, or?
Oh, good question. No, this door is flush with the edge of this room. Thank you for checking.
Okay. How wide is it? Just 5 feet, or?
It's a standard 3.5 foot wide, 7.5 foot tall door, just like you got in your house.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
There's some weird doors here.
Is it possible to peek through the shutters without opening them?
As a matter of fact, you can. There's actually almost like a crossbow slit in the middle, and you can see north from the mountain, staring off into the distance.
Okay, well that helps orient us.
The thing is, it makes no sense. You should be deep in the ground of the mountain, but there's actually a fresh breeze of cool air blowing in on you.
Does the shutter open?
Yes, it does. It opens and it's about 1.5 feet wide and about 1.5 feet tall, both. And there are 2 metal bars that extend so that it's divided into thirds, left to right.
Okay, so I can't stick my head out and look around?
You can just barely stick your head out and look around, and you can see that you're on that cliff face that was below the north path. This window is in that cliff face.
Oh, it's below the north path. Okay.
Not by a lot, but below it, which tells you that you're deeper than you should be, and you're further further north than you should be. But
Okay, thank you.
you're absolutely.
How much space is that spiral staircase take up?
It takes up almost effectively 10 feet in diameter.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Thank you.
Sure.
I have no idea also how to draw that in the shutter, so
I always put an SH with lines on the side of it to show shutter.
Oh, I just did a window.
Fun.
And is this room furnished at all?
No. It's bare, and it looks like the wind has kept the dust from settling in it, too. But the ranger will tell you. You have a ranger with you, right? You do?
Yes.
You do. That there hasn't been any traffic in here in some time.
Okay. Would Guffaway would like to listen at the door?
Guffaway will. She hears nothing.
All right. Are we ready to open the door, Yuri?
Yep.
Okay, I'll open the door.
All right, you open the door, and there is a 10-foot wide, 12.5-foot tall corridor arched above you, stretching off at an angle. It's going south, south, southeast. It snakes back and forth just a little bit, but you can see from the light coming through the shutter that it goes a very far way into the darkness.
Okay. How does the door we're in? Is that centered in this new corridor or?
The door is centered in the new corridor, correct?
Lovely. Can I get the dimensions of that again?
It's 10 feet wide and arches to 12.5 feet tall.
Okay, it just goes southwest.
South, south, southwest, just east of west. True. Yes.
Just east of west, or just
Just east of due south. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
just east of due south?
But okay, so we're going south southwest, right?
You're going south with a little bit of east in it.
Okay, south southeast.
Correct.
But you said it winds a little bit.
It twists and turns just a little bit, but you can see that it's effectively straight. It looks like it's following some sort of grain that went through the granite.
Lovely. That's going to make that hard to follow.
And by the light, we can see 80 feet down or so.
At least, yes. There's plenty of light, so you can see at least 80 feet down. It does continue a bit, though.
Question in chat. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool.
I love that you're taking it seriously.
That's pretty close to the angle I guessed.
So for every 30 feet south, we'll go 15.
For every 10 feet south, you go 3
We'll go-
feet east. Every 30 feet south, you go almost 10 feet east. That's right.
Okay. I'm trying to get these in fives, but I'm not sure I'm going to get that.
Probably not. It's almost as if it's a problem to map. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lyle will lead the way down. Being a stealth and keeping it on
You guys head the way down. After about 80 or 90 feet, your lights pick out a door ahead of you. The door is, you'd say this door is 120 feet from the door that you started from. Otherwise, the corridor is empty and unremarkable. Excuse me.
How far did we go?
120 feet.
120. Okay.
Can I see the hinges on this door?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they face you.
Are they well maintained? Are they rusty?
You wouldn't say they're well maintained. It's obvious that they're not in bad shape, but they haven't been dealt with in a long time.
Okay.
Just want to check that this looks roughly right.
Sure, take your time. Yes, that's very close. Close enough.
Okay. The door is correct too.
That's right.
Okay. And it just kind of curves out like that, I think. Okay.
And the door is very strange. You can't figure out how that works, as a matter of fact. Looking back, it shouldn't work at all.
The door we just left there?
Yeah, the door there, I mean, it's not like it's making you sick or anything, but it's very unusual.
Yeah. It's a weird way to put a door. Okay. I'm good to go.
All right. I guess I'll open this door.
All right. On the far side is a room where the north wall that you just entered from is even, and the east wall is even. But there's sort of a southwest natural wall. And the westernmost portion of that wall, I just sent you a picture, is a large piece of polished quartz, like a lens. And the south part of the wall is an iron grill. Bars of iron, the individual bars are about as thick as your pinky. And the gap between the bars is no bigger than the width of your thumb.
Oh, wow.
That
The
door,
bars seem to face into some open cavern, and there's sunlight shining through the lens.
that door there, is it just facing, is that an east-west door?
That
That's,
door that you see there is the door you just entered through.
But is it east-west?
That wall is on the north wall, so it runs east-west. That's right.
Okay. I just want to be paranoid.
I like
You
that.
You said light was coming from the lens?
Yeah, the lens is letting in light, and there's some faint light through the grill. The grill obviously faces into a natural cavern.
What does Quint make of the lens?
He doesn't know. He wants to go look at it if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll watch his back while he goes and looks at it.
Okay.
He
what
gasps
map-
and says that you have to see this quickly. The lens allows you to see remember the stone posts at the old road as we began at the edge of the briars?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it as if it was no more than 40 feet away. And as he moves his hand across the top of the stone, the entire crystal moves and it can dial in or out. So you can see the old road as if you were just standing a few feet away, or you can see the entire first 3 miles of the old road as it enters the briars from here.
So we're on the left eye.
Can we find a way to focus on a different part of the road?
No, it only looks at either the very first opening to the old road or the first couple of miles. It can't be moved anywhere else.
Okay.
Map question now.
Mm-hmm.
From the door, how far out does that does it radiate till the it hits that wall, that eastern wall?
Oh, sure. That's from the very edge of the door to that crystal on the west is no more than 10 feet.
10 feet? Okay.
And it's only about 18 to 20 feet to that grill in the very south.
18 to 20? Okay. It just kind of steadily kind of narrows to that point?
Yes.
How narrow is the grill?
The grill is barely 7 feet across, east to west. It's only about 4 feet high, north to south. Top to bottom, I should say.
What was the height?
4 feet high, top to bottom. You gonna check out the grill?
Yeah, let's go take a look through there.
Because you look through the grill, it's obvious that you're in the north eye of the mountain. Because to your right, the west, you can see the cavern opening and you can actually see the plateau. But as you're standing there, hey, who's looking through?
Lyle.
Give me a D6, please.
The iron grill is 4 feet tall.
It's 4 feet tall, about 7 feet wide. Okay, there's a boom, and a massive sturge lands at the grill and starts sticking its proboscis through, trying to get through to you. But of course, the grill keeps you safe.
Well, that explains why it's such a fine grill.
And as you look off to your left, you can see that behind both eyes, you can tell from the light shining in, there's a cavern in there, probably the same size as the entrance cavern, and it's full of thousands of nesting sturges.
Through the grill?
Yeah, the grill, as you look through it to your right, you can see out the north eye, but to the left, you can see this big cavern, and the light is shining in because the sun's past noon now. is shining in through the two eyes, and it looks like behind the two eyes is a big cavern full of thousands of Sturgis nests.
Okay, so that little bulge then is the eye?
Here, let me show you. Ba-ba-ba-ba-doo-doo-doo. This is why I love playing D&D. All right, so that picture I hope will make it a little more clear. What's going on is that grill is right at the edge of the eye. So as you look at that picture, the eye is, well, to the top of the picture because it's sideways. And to the bottom is a massive cave above the entrance cave that's full of Sturgis.
Horrifying?
Yeah. Thousands of them.
Okay.
How late in the day is it getting?
It's no later than 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. By the way, that is the inspiration for that hole that you found. That's an actual cavern in Eastern Europe.
Wonderful. So, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this question, just so I have this image in my head right. Also, I'm running out of paper. That's fun. Should have started a new sheet, but so that top little part of that drawing there, just radiating out from the grill to the west, that is the eye.
Okay, so you see
Or
where
is
the
that a
grill?
mountain?
You got the door that you came through. Then there's the grill. Just past that grill to that other squiggle, that's the northern eye in Skull Mountain.
Okay, so looking right, that's outward. That's looking
So,
outwards.
As the picture is printed, as the picture is published in the Discord, the top is the plateau,
Okay.
And we're right
and
in
the
the
bottom
ice
is the cavern inside the skull. Make sense?
Yep.
No, but
So we're,
I like
we're,
when people are honest.
we're inside the eye socket.
Yeah, you're just on the northern edge of the northern eye socket, looking into the eye cavern. That's correct.
okay. So the southern portion is the eye, right?
Right, the southern portion is the eye itself.
Okay, and then going north, then that, or I'm not sure north is the top portion here. Wait,
That's out onto the
So
plateau.
basically, you came from the tunnel from the north, and as you open into this room is at the very northern edge of the northern eye. So as you look at the mountain, this room is on the very left of the eye socket of the Skull Mountain.
okay, so looking left, we're looking out of the eye socket. Looking right, we're
Correct.
looking into a massive Sturge cave.
Right, and you now know
The
that
other
crystal
way.
must be cloaked by illusion or something. From the outside of the mountain, you can't see it. The crystal is basically facing the plateau, but it can see all the way to the beginning of the old road.
Okay, where's the crystal roughly in the room?
Yeah.
Top side.
Top?
That topmost point in the picture.
Yep.
Okay, that other little bulge that kind of looks like a door there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crystal. And that crystal faces the plateau.
It's a
Thank you.
black crystal.
It's a massive quartz crystal that's been polished and enchanted, yes. You see it's 4 feet across.
So this Sturge cave, is it connected to the cave below that the mouth opens into, or is it its own cave?
No, it's obviously completely separate.
Okay. Good.
Very good, right? And this is why once the sun goes down, you better be at least 2 miles away from the cave. Probably 4.
Why didn't they build the grate across the whole eye socket? All right.
Because they want the Sturges to get out.
Well, Yuri, I'm
Hey,
thinking
9:27. I suggest we take 5.
good idea.
Okay.
We'll take 5 minutes. stretch a little bit. I'll see you back here at call it 9:35.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you all very much. I'll be right back.
Honestly, I think I've done enough stretching for the day, though.
I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Careful. Do you think you got what the eye's doing there?
Testing.
That we did.
Careful. Do you feel like you're confident on the shape of that eye thing?
Vaguely.
Okay.
This is going to be a very rough sketch for a lot of this because this is.
Nobody has better than rough sketch of this entire area ever.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I've got a perfect sketch, but that's different.
Of course you do.
Well, I'm good with a rough sketch. I got a rough sketch too.
I'm ready to start again if you guys are.
hmm
So what you gonna do?
Well, we got a few hours of daylight left.
You figure
How
you
do you-
got 5 to 5.5 hours of daylight left. That's right.
How long do we think it'll take us to get back down to the plateau from here?
From here, let's see. Up the shaft is gonna take You no more than an hour and 15, hour and 30 from the Bowman now. Max.
Okay. So I'm thinking we hike down to the mouth and head in. What do you think, Yuri?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
The staircase continues to go down, you know.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Oh, okay. I
Down
didn't
we
Just on
go.
the landing, the staircase itself keeps going.
You said that, and I immediately forgot because there was a window.
But the dungeon master reminded you.
Okay, so it went 90 feet down to this landing.
Yeah, it's 90 feet down to this landing that leads to the north eye room. Yes.
Okay. Down we go.
All right, down we go. Yeah, I agreed.
Okay, you go down another 80 feet when you come to just right off the side of the carved out, just a little landing, no bigger than, say, a desk. And the other side of this landing, that was somehow obviously added after the stair was built, is a door. The door is a little larger than normal. It's almost 4 feet wide. It's 8 feet tall. And it's made of beautiful black wood. And it appears to be inlaid with pearls in a
Okay.
big arch.
What was the size of this room/landing?
The landing's only about 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet wide, and no more than 3 feet deep.
Okay, facing which direction?
You can't really tell. You think it's to the north?
Okay.
And the door itself seems to be set with about almost exactly 666 pearls around the outer edge. But the entire door seems to be coated with some sort of either glass or perfectly clear varnish that's an inch deep.
Is Yuri aware of any kind of arcane purpose to have a door with pearls on it?
Yuri is not an
Well, he
arcane.
says that
Sorry,
pearls are very common in warding magic, and pearls are commonly used to make walls of force, spheres of protection, that sort of stuff. But he says he is aware of this lacquer. It's called Yashima lacquer, and it means that you can't use any sort of rotting or aging attack on the door itself.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Um,
how big was the landing again? You said. Sorry, I have to be repetitive here.
4.5 feet wide, no more than 3 feet deep. It basically just leads this big door.
Okay.
There's no handle and there's no latch.
There's no handle and there's no latch. Okay.
Correct.
We can always knock.
Could always knock.
Which kind of knock? The spell knock or?
Right. I don't think any of us have the spell knock.
I don't think you do know.
No, we didn't
We have that
bring it with
roll,
us.
but we're saving it for the wizard door.
Okay. I just,
Um,
if you got no other idea, I'd just say we put our shoulder to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say push it.
Okay, who's going to be doing that?
Yuri will.
Give me a D10. Excuse me, a D6. Blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't open.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Norb would give it a try.
Go right ahead. D6. Nope.
Nope.
Very sturdy. It doesn't even shudder. It doesn't even move in its frame. It's almost like it's... Matter of fact, Yuri's kind of convinced it's a fake door. It's just solid stone because it didn't flex at all.
Is there a seam or a crease or anything?
Not that you can see. It looks like there's a seam around it, but you can't see anything past it. It may just be recessed into the wall. You can't tell.
Does it go down any further, or is this the bottom of it?
Oh, the staircase continues down. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking, seeing if there's anything I can do to this door. I
Heck,
guess we
the
can
door,
put it down.
the lacquer is so sturdy, it'll turn the point of a sharp knife. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to damage it. I'm too beautiful.
Down we go.
All right. I guess
All
we
right.
continue.
You get about another 60 feet, and the staircase finally ends. Very deep in the mountain. And to the side of it is a little alcove. It's about 8 by 8, about 9 feet high. And on the opposite wall is a door. You
Who could have
think you're
guessed?
facing east, but you're not exactly sure.
Okay.
All right. Can Griffaway listen at that door?
She's going to listen. She hears nothing. She pulls out her wand and says that there's a trap on the door. So she's going to try to fix it. She messes around with some sort of potion for a moment, and she says that the trap is disarmed now.
All right. I'll go through the door.
All right, you go through the door. The light spills out. You're in a room. It's about 80 feet east to west. You're on the west wall on the very southern edge. It's 40 feet north to south. You're in a raised dais. Along the south wall, there's a door just next to the dais, and another door on the south wall 40 feet past that. And on the east wall, there's a door on the south edge. Off to the dais, there are several tables surrounded by chairs, like a dining hall.
Ah,
Oh, holy
And you
shit.
recognize that you're in the dining hall.
So those answers several questions I was going to have there. Okay, so
Matter of
it's,
fact, you see your own tracks through some of the dust in the dusty corners of the dining hall.
how big is the dais?
The dais runs north to south on the wall, and it's about 8.5 feet east to west.
but it runs the whole length of the wall.
It runs the whole length of the wall. It looks like at one point some sort of war chief or captain or something had his dining table up here to look down on his men.
Ah, that makes sense. And this door, we couldn't see it from the dining
Matter
hall.
of fact, from this side, oh my gosh. And of course, with the dais there, a half elf wouldn't get close enough to get an automatic check. You'd have to climb up the dais to look for it. But yes, on this side, it's the secret door.
Okay. How big's the door?
It's a standard door. It's just concealed and hidden.
Okay,
Well,
just
that
so
saves-
flesh
that
with the
saves us a
wall,
hike.
or
Hmm?
is it flesh with the wall?
It's flush with the interior wall. Correct.
Okay, dead center of the wall too.
Dead center, you'd say. Yeah.
Okay, just about. How thick?
It makes getting back to the Boma much faster.
How thick is the wall?
What's that?
How thick is the wall between this secret compartment and the dais?
Oh, the only thing between that secret compartment and the room is just this false door.
Okay, wow, nothing.
Very thin, very thin. You could probably put your fist through it with some effort.
I'd rather not. Okay.
All right. Well,
Where'd
there's
that
some
other map
things
go?
to investigate here.
Okay, 8 by 8.
I was thinking, now that we're here, there was that room that was made of, did you say malachite?
Off to the east, yes.
And so I wanted Quint to look at that, and I wanted Quint to look at the room with leaves in it.
Oh, sure.
Okay. While we're here, then, through the east wall of this room, or the east door of this room, that goes out 40 feet, right?
Yeah. If you leave the east door, you go to that T section where you fought goblins. The T section is about 40 feet away. That's right.
Okay, and how far south then? To the edge of the door to the latrines?
Oh, then it's going to be, let's see, edge of the latrines. Call it 100 feet.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
North to
4,
south. North to south, it's 100 feet.
8, 9,
Okay, something got severely wrong there. I don't know how.
Don't beat yourself up. Go down the latrines and measure south to north.
Yeah, well, we said 80 feet at the time, but I think that was from the north side of the door
And I'm still off by
to
5
the
feet.
south side of the
Oh,
feet.
dear.
No, from the very edge of the latrine door north of the junction is 80 feet, but from the junction to the latrine door, it's 100 feet. That's always true.
Okay, question going back to the mess hall.
Sure.
The doorway going into that little corridor between the kitchen and that one store, that one
Sure.
50 by 30 storeroom. Is that a distance between the edge of that doorway and
here.
the west or the east door? Is that 15 or is that 20 feet?
You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to do for you what I did for Jack about 1.5 years ago.
I'll take a picture just so I can illustrate more what I'm talking about here.
You got it.
I have 2 additional marks to kind of make it clear.
No, I got you. Watch the chat. All right. So that's Skull Mountain level 1. Off to the, well, that picture is angled, so it came in sideways. At the top is a spiral staircase with the alcove and the secret door in the dais. The first door there goes in the kitchen with the cistern. The second door goes into the hall between the kitchen and storage. And then you've got the door on the east wall that heads off the T and the locked wine cellar next to it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep. I now know exactly where that error is, too. So that's fun.
Listen, you're part of a long line of people where my description confuses them here. I might as well just give them a picture next time.
Yeah.
I was suspecting, though, I was having an error like that somewhere. I just didn't know precisely how to word it.
Sure, but that's why I showed you a picture, because this way we can just skip all that.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Yuri? Should we go unlock the wizard lock
Nah, let's leave that.
for the others?
Yeah, I'd like to kind of do that one with them around.
I agree.
Big reveal.
Okay, so I'd like to
Yeah,
take.
the cell with the skeletons choking each other.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
wanna
it's a running gag every time any party enters the level 1. I ask them that, just so you know. No one's ever done it.
We didn't do the prep for that yet. We're severely tempted,
Oh, yes. Just to be the one party.
but we did some prep, or we discussed what prep we would need, but we haven't done that.
Okay. So we guys heading next?
The leaf room, the L-shaped or the inverted L-shaped room.
Yes, the L-shaped room with the leaves in it. That's is that where you found the cultist? Is that the one you're talking about?
No. Just north of the bugbear room.
Bugbear room. Yes.
The L-shaped
okay,
room.
It is where you found the cultist. Then good. All right.
Oh, okay. I thought we chased him farther
You
east.
chased him somewhere else, but that's where his bedroom was. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was a bed in there.
Yeah. Secret inside information. There you go. Let's see here. Excuse me.
Hey, just a question. They're looking at this little map here. Is room
Sure.
14 there? Is that only supposed to be 10 feet away from
Which room?
the what? It's the storeroom that's 30 by 50 feet. You got a little 14 dash there.
Yeah.
Is that only supposed to be 10 feet away from that corridor there? There, that
Yeah,
the wine
it's
cellar opens
inside
out on?
information. It's only 10 feet away from that corridor. That's correct.
How the hell then do I have 15 feet?
Well, if you're coming from the south, it's 15 feet. If you're coming from the north, it's 10.
Oh, fuck.
All right. So room 20 with the leaves in it. It's easy to get there. There's still a lot of debris in there. It's got a weird sort of ornate bed. It's got leaves scattered all over the floor. This is where you found the lava lamp. Yeah. What are you guys gonna do there?
What does Quint make of the leaves being indoors?
Sure. He says these leaves are all associated with something called the wall of firebush, and it's creates a toxin that makes people hallucinate, and it's used in cult activities of the Magna cult.
Congratulations, we found pot.
Yeah, we figured it out.
Well done.
Okay.
Last time we were here, I spaced it completely, but did you say that there were gems all over the floor in the bugbear room?
Yes, there were. There were gems on the floor of the bugbear room.
Do we want those?
I assume. You go in the bugbear room, you're going to find scattered in the corner 35 garnets, each the size of your pinky finger.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
take
taking those.
Did the bugbears have any other equipment in this room that might interest us?
Well, now that you search, you're coming back and looking around, you find a lockbox where the combination lock, they've smashed the combination lock off of it, and it's got 100 platinum pieces inside, and a small velvet pouch inside of it is a potion bottle full of a very faintly glowing green liquid.
Is that something Quint recognizes?
No, he's going to have to use his spells back at the camp to figure out what that is.
Perfect.
I'll tell you right now, you and my boy Jack have to get together and compare maps.
That'd be confusing because I'm also named Jack.
I'm sure we can find one of his characters back in Esber.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you probably right now you'd find Seeker quite easily. He actually hangs out in Esber a lot in this time frame.
Lovely.
Okay.
All right.
I'd like to bring Quint down to the Malachite room.
All right, that should be 2-7. The Malachite room is, as I recall, very strange.
I
Yes,
believe it's on the south wall.
the south wall. Yeah.
In the east hallway, the third door on the south wall, if my map is
1, 2, 3. Yes, there we go. 1, 2. Yes. That room is 20 by 20. It's the third room on the south wall in that hallway, just before you get to the room that leads to all the prison cells.
right.
And the wall, ceiling, and floor seem to be covered in plates of malachite. Now, Quint looks at them and he says it's not real malachite. This is actually a form of marble that comes from across the sea in something called the City of 1,000 Islands. But he says that we should collect them because any room completely covered in these tiles is immune to scrying.
Ooh. Okay. I guess we collect them.
Yeah,
It's
we
going
don't
to
need
take you about a
to.
day to peel them off the wall because they're they're glued on in a way.
We probably don't need to take all of them. Just by the description, we could probably just take 5 or 6, smash
You beat me
them,
to
and
it.
scatter them about.
Quinn actually says that in an hour you can collect enough to cover a large chest or a hidey hole. Easy.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be actually very useful.
He says the walls and ceiling of this room may be more valuable than all the gold and gems you found so far.
All right. Do we want to proceed any deeper, Yuri? Or do we... We've got
As far as
a
I
couple
can tell, the only 2 places on this map you haven't been, and you know how I mean this, are the Wizard Lock door, and there's a room further down past the prison cells where there are 3 doors off of it, and you never went through any of the 3 doors.
Yeah, that's where we captured the cultist.
Correct.
Yeah, we were waiting to do some other things. What time is it right now, we think?
Well, oddly enough, you can quickly run out, and it's only going to take you, say, 15 minutes to send somebody to the door and check. You figure you get 3 hours before sunset.
Let's just
So we
peek
could
what's
spend-
beyond the door, eh?
Sorry, what?
Let's just peek what's beyond the door. Get a lay of the land.
Okay.
Okay. The other
So you
thing I
Listen
wanted
at
to
them.
do,
Give it. Just
Is-
check that there's nothing's moved or changed or any
Oh,
activity beyond
nothing's
them.
moved. The blood's dried, and that's about all that you've seen. You come through the door in the middle of the west wall. There's a door in the middle of the north, a door in the middle of the west, east, and a door in the middle of the south. Just one moment, folks. Here you go. Thank you, hon. The wife is bringing me snacks. All right. So, yeah, there's a door in the north, east, and west. You going to check any of them out?
Let's check
North?
out. Yeah, north.
North, you say?
Yep.
All right.
We're getting close to the end of the day. I'll cast Find Traps.
Okay, cast find traps. You see no traps in the door, and inside that room, it's empty except for an extremely old bedroll. The bedroll is so old that it would falls apart. You can tell it would fall apart if you were to touch it.
Okay.
And there's no doors
big's
on
the
that
room?
room.
No, it's a 30 by 30 room that's otherwise empty.
3 by 30. Okay.
All
East
right.
or south?
Wonder if that bedroom
east.
is still there.
East it is. Okay, east. Flipping pages. This is a room with an old broken down bed. It's 30 by 30. There's no other exits in or out. The only thing of note is in the middle of the room is an old brass charcoal brazier for heating a room or for cooking. Otherwise, empty.
And all these places are covered in dust.
Dusty, untouched. Correct.
Okay. South door.
Okay, that opens up into a 30 by 30 room. In the middle of the room is a red silk sheet. And it appears that there's a large, broad-shouldered man sitting in a chair covered by this sheet. Around him are broken axes and swords, a snapped bow, and enough dried blood that even after all these years, there's a sort of powdery texture to it, like a snowdrift.
What was the room to the east's dimensions?
30 by 30.
30 by
30
30.
by 30.
Okay, with cooking material in it?
Warning.
With cooking tools? Hello?
No, it was a large brass brazier.
It's a charcoal brazier for cooking and heating. That's right.
Okay. And how big is this southern room here?
30 by 30. They're all almost identical, mirror images of each other.
Lovely.
And there looks like there's a large man wrapped in this sheet.
Yes, you'd estimate that if, based on what you're seeing, if he were to stand up, he'd be almost 8 feet tall.
Is he moving at all?
Well, now the lights are shining on him. Not only is he not moving, there's a thick coating of dust all over the sheet.
Broken weapons all around him, but no other bodies.
No other bodies, correct.
I say we leave that.
It's either leave it or poke it. I have a septum. It's spelled differently in different places.
Were there any other doorways in any of the other rooms?
You don't see the doorways in the other rooms?
Yeah.
However, one of the parties insists there's a secret door in this room with a giant figure. They can feel a draft where there shouldn't be one.
Okay.
Well,
Lovely.
I'm curious.
Let's leave it for now. You have a couple hours left.
Yeah. I want to go see if we can find a way up onto the platforms the goblins attacked us from.
Yeah.
Absolutely, sure. So you're going to head back out to the entrance cave.
Yeah.
All right, you head back out of the entrance cave. The sun is not quite low enough yet to shine off the big brass door. Well, there's plenty of light. So you search around the cavern, and it doesn't take long at all. There's a hidden ladder just north, 30 or 40 feet north of the doors. There's niches carved into the rock where you can use them as hand and footholds to climb up about 30 feet to a hidden ledge where there's a bit of rock that hides it. On the south, again about 20 feet south of the door, there are iron rungs sunk into the back of what looks like a stalagmite that lead up about 20 feet to another platform. You guys gonna go up there?
Yeah, I'll go up.
All right. In the north platform,
I'd do south as well.
sure, the north platform is only about 6 or 7 feet away from the edge of the cavern. It's about 20 feet long, and you can see there's a pallet up here, a tiny little iron sort of semi-stove for holding hot coals to keep you warm on a cold day, and a quiver with 40 sling stones jammed down into it.
40 sling stones.
Yeah. And on the south one, it's much smaller. It's only about 8 feet, 9 feet away from the wall, and only about 8 or 9 feet wide. But similarly, you find a coal bucket for keeping warm. And then there's just a pile of sling stones. And oh, you rolled a 1, and there's a secret door in the back wall.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
There's a secret door over here. And the way that there's stuff up against it looks like the goblins had no idea.
How much time's left before nightfall?
You figure if you beat feet now, you get back to the boma before the Sturges eat you.
Okay. I'd just what's the character name again? I'd yell at Lyle, found something. Let's go back.
All right.
And we'd hurry off down.
All right, you guys actually get back to the boma. You get back to the boma, and it's a sort of a interesting little bit. They say that they saw that the winged creature with the rider a couple more times, but it looked like it was fighting something else in the sky. So they're a little freaked out, but at the same time, there's plenty of hot water to clean up with, some good food, and before you know it, you guys, having been climbing up and down a mountain at 2 miles of altitude, are sacked out for the night before you know it.
Yep.
And in a shocking twist of fate, the night passes uneventfully.
Oh, we have a
They say the
hippogriff
new
giant
stuff is
owl.
keeping the snakes and spiders out, and between the nets and the canvases, they're not even worried about the sturges anymore, although the horses are restless all night.
Yeah. Can't blame them.
Dawn comes. You guys are ready for another day.
Okay.
One of the crusty old mercenaries warned you there might be raining in the afternoon, so be ready for weather.
We want to head up to the weather room. For lack
What's
of a
that?
better word. Let's head up to the weather room. Just check that. See if there's any. See if there's any
You mean the
reporting.
boulder?
The boulder, yeah.
Yeah, the boulder.
All right, you head over the boulder, and it's interesting as you get there. Again, you can see the outline of Seaward and the maps and stuff. And now across the top, there's a little red line, and then there's more runes. Quint says it means danger of flash floods this evening.
Beep. Beep.
If you guys are high enough up in the mountains, you're going to be safe. But if you're down in the briars themselves, full of all the gullies and washes, it's a death sentence.
What about the Boma?
The boma's clear.
Oh, the bum is going to be fine. Luckily, it's in high ground for drainage.
Okay. Does it have any sort of further weather forecast? Sort of. Is it just kind of
Well,
like?
if you watch every now and then, it gives you the 5-day forecast, is what since Quint says.
How are we looking?
In about 3 days, it's supposed to be a 100% chance of rain. And they warn that there's a tropical depression over the Dawn Sea.
Where's the Dawn Sea?
East of Seaward.
Okay. So someone's going to get hit by a hurricane soon. That'll be fun.
But it's hundreds of miles to thousands of miles from here. In the meantime, in about 2 or 3 days, you guys had better be ready to stay in camp while it rains heavy for days, or be in the mountain.
Okay.
So where are you off to?
Is it faster to go up to the top of the mountain and go down, or would it be faster for us to just kind of go towards the entrance?
Well, where you want to go inside the entrance? Oh, it's always fastest go through the cave entrance. Always.
Okay, to the cave entrance then.
Okay, you go to the cave entrance. Where are you going to head from here?
Can you describe the main chamber again?
Sure. The main chamber is roughly 120 feet, almost completely circular. And in the north, say third of it, there's stalagmites and stalactites that obscure your view. In the very center of the east wall are two massive doors. Together, they're 20 feet wide and 40 feet high. They're sheathed in bronze, and they don't seem to be movable. And they're covered in strange markings that don't seem to be any sort of language. In the middle of the north wall is the door that you've used to go into that guard area.
Yeah, and that one's
And
10 feet wide.
In the southeast is a secret door that you discovered.
In the south wall?
Bare rock.
Okay. Where were the stables in here?
Just to the west of the north door are 4 exposed wooden stables for horses, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Secret door, Yuri?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
How far distant are the ledges from the ledges from the big bronze doors?
They're both about 20 to 30 feet south or north, depending on which one you're talking about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to be for sure because it's got a lot of curve to it.
20 to 30, you said?
The south platform and open the secret door. All right.
Okay.
The secret door is very narrow, barely 2.5 feet wide. A man in armor has to turn sideways to scrape through. And beyond it is a narrow corridor, 3.5 feet wide, running west, barely 7 feet tall. And it goes up, say, 60 or 70 feet west until it runs into a spiral staircase that goes up. The spiral staircase is carved out of the rock.
Did you mean to say east instead of west?
No, I mean west. It's heading back towards the entrance to the cavern.
Okay, could you re-describe then the description? 2.5.
Sure.
2.5 foot width, going how far east?
Yeah,
and turning west.
So you're on the southeast corner, very close to the southernmost edge of the cavern.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tiny door, barely 2.5 feet wide, that leads to a 3.5 foot wide corridor that's about 7 feet tall that runs right along the southern edge of the cavern to the west, back towards the entrance. About, you'd say 60 feet.
Okay, so 60 west.
And it ends in a stone staircase going up.
Okay. I really hate to have to ask this again, since I just asked 3 hour free duration. How far east did it go?
It goes west about 60 feet.
Okay, so you enter and then it just goes immediately west?
It just goes west. Follows the curve of the cavern.
Okay, that makes sense there. So approximately 60 feet from that entrance, that secret door, then you get the spiral stairs? Okay.
All right, up the stairs, I suppose.
All right.
South eye.
Go up the stairs. You'd say 50 feet, and there's a room.
We lost your audio for a bit there. Did you say up the stairs 50 feet?
You go up the stairs about 50 feet, and there's a sort of double landing. To your west is a little space, just barely big enough for 1, maybe 2 men to stand. And there's another one of those crystal lenses there. To your north is another landing, just barely big enough for 1 or 2 men to stand, and there's another one of those iron grates.
Oh, sweet.
So roughly identical to an identical but mirrored
It's
image.
smaller. It's actually a lot smaller than the one on the north eye, which are on the south edge of the south eye.
Oh, interesting.
And the staircase continues to go up, but from here on up, it's iron.
Okay, so initially it was just stone.
Just stone, and then it turns into iron. Correct.
And no other doors in this room?
No other doors. It looks like it's barely carved out of the living rock.
It was 50 feet up.
50 feet up.
All
Now,
right.
the lens that faces the plateau allows you to clearly see, through a trick of the light, everything on the plateau all the way to the old road entering the plateau. No matter where you're on the plateau, from this lens, you can clearly see exactly who and what they are, all the way to the road.
Can we see the Boma?
The bum is too far down the road to be seen from here.
Okay. Is there any sign of movement of activity here?
You see no sign of activity here, and the dust on the ground here is so thick that when you step, you don't even hear your footfall because the dust muffles it. And to the north, you can see the southern half of the eye cavern and all the massive nests of sturgeon scattered throughout it.
Okay. So there's one cavern behind both eyes.
Correct. The eyes meet into one big cavern.
Okay.
And the staircase continues up, of course.
Yeah. Up we go.
You guys are tired. You've been climbing for a while. But eventually, above you, you see a strange sort of thing. It looks like a ring set into an iron dome that you're looking at from underneath the dome. And there's locking bars. It's obvious you have to spin this ring to lock or unlock those bars.
About how far up do we think we are?
At least 200 feet.
We're tired far up.
You're tired far up, at least 100 feet up.
Lovely.
The hitch are crumbling and want to raise. Yeah, that's how far up you are.
And we're standing under like a submarine cap lock. Is that what you're?
To you and me, it would look just like a submarine hatch. Exactly.
Okay. But it's apparent that we need to turn it to open it.
Yes, it's obvious from this side you have to turn it to open it.
Okay. I will do that.
You turn it, you hear a sort of grinding noise, and when it's done, you can lift this dome up. Do you?
Okay. I'll lift it just a smidgen, enough to peek out, I guess.
Well, you're on top of the mountain, and you can see the edge of the sky dock from where you are. You're on the south edge of the sky dock. As you look around, you realize that there's a hollow fake boulder that hides this hatch. And as you lift the hatch, the boulder pivots out of the way so you can get in and out.
Cool.
I'm now very concerned about
Where'd you
all
know?
the other murder holes in this mountain. Do we want to say we brought that knock spell?
I have no problem with you do or don't.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have enough.
I mean,
I don't
You
know if
always
we have
forget
anything
it.
else
Remember.
to explore besides poking the old
after-
man.
You're less than 2 miles from the Boma right now. Well, at the base of the hill. So it'll be no later than 2 in the afternoon if we stop for dinner to bring you back the next spell. So yeah, you can have it.
Okay,
You want to do it?
kinda. I think that's a safer solution than poke the 8-foot tall man with broken weapons all around him.
I could poke him really hard as our opening move, though.
Yes, but I don't think that's going to work. There's a reason the bugbears probably didn't go after him.
Well, we thought there was a secret door in there.
Yeah, I'm worried though that guy is just standing / sitting on it. So
Yeah, I bet
That's
it's
actually, yeah.
The other option is the big brass door. But I think we can go do the wizard lock door.
We can take a look at the brass door while we're here. I don't think we can get
Yeah,
through
it's
it, though.
actually a quick trip down the brass door. There is no handles or anything on the brass doors. The doors are so tightly made that you can barely see the seams anywhere on it. The hinges on the inside.
Good dwarven craftsmanship.
And you would say that it must have been magic to forge the bronze covers on these doors. They haven't degraded or corroded in any way, shape, or form. It looks like they're just forged and they match perfectly.
Okay.
Do we want to try to push those open, or do we want to open up the wizard?
Well, I'm warning you right now. You can try and try, but people use literal battering rams against these doors, and they've never left a mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after a little push, I suppose we
I
just.
bet the wizard lock goes through.
Say again?
Based on my very rough map from the previous session, I guess the wizard lock probably opens up to the other side of the brass doors, so that would be nice.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that's true. So you're heading for the wizard lock door?
Okay.
Sure.
All right. It doesn't take you long to get there. It looks like the bugbears that were using the goblins to smash through a massive masonry door that had been put in the way of it, a masonry wall that had been put in the way of it. But you can pick your way past it, and pretty soon you're there.
So there's just kind of that little. So that little 10 feet there of broken wall rubble. That's just busted down masonry.
Yeah, it looks like they smashed their way through an artificial wall that had been put up to hide this wizard lock door. 20 feet past that fake wall is the wizard lock door. And the door itself has a rune on it, a wizard mark. It's been keyed so it glows faintly and is visible to anyone. Let me get a quick sketch of it.
Please and thank you.
Absolutely. There's my phone.
I wish you all the luck in not losing your maps, unlike me.
Maps are just so much trouble, man.
I have a second sheet of paper here that is just these faint markings on it. It's like, oh yes, I don't want to lose that.
So that's the rune that is inscribed on the door, and Quint recognizes it instantly as the rune of Lore, the Archmage, who died 300 years ago.
Okay.
But the dot indicates that it was one of his apprentices.
Oh, okay. That helps. So it's Quint or Millicent to use the scroll.
Millicent's your best bet. Let me roll.
I thought it was Millicent.
It is Millicent.
Oh, okay.
04, not even hard. The spell goes off, the rune vanishes, and the door unlocks. What do you guys do?
You've led all the times before.
All right. Barely 30 feet further along, you can see another door.
Shit.
So straight ahead and then 30 feet and then a door?
Yeah, straight ahead 30 feet, then another door.
And of course, I'm going to ask that question again. How thick's the door?
This looks like actually a very thin door. You'd estimate it's no more than an inch thick. And It appears very unusual. It's not the usual place. It's at the deep end of a deep alcove. And even the ceiling slopes down towards it. And it's very smooth with a strange circular sort of twisting latch on your left side as you face it.
Okay. So how deep's the alcove then for this door here?
No more than 2 feet.
2 feet? Okay.
2 feet.
So it's probably 2 feet on both sides?
You can't tell. You have to open the door to find out.
Okay, we'll open the door.
All right. You open the door, and on the far side is a hallway. You're standing on the north edge of it.
My question still stands now.
Just to your right, barely 10 feet away, are the inside of the great brass doors.
10 feet to the west?
You're right. Yeah.
Okay. How long is the
The
hallway?
hallway is 20 feet across, north to south, and arches up to 50 feet high. And it stretches off to the east into the distance. You can't see it through your light. And there's carvings on both sides of the wall. You realize the door you just entered on this side is faced with stone and carvings. So it's a concealed door from this side. And the carvings show pilgrims carrying torches going up to a mountain.
The Archmage door?
Excuse me?
The Archmage door has these carvings? Or
No,
is
no,
hidden?
the door past the Archmage door is a concealed door with carvings on it. Matter of fact, looking back, it looks like the Archmage door was
Right.
added later to seal this section of the mountain off from outsiders.
Okay, so after the Archmage door, how much hallway was there?
Sure. After the Archmage door, you go 30 feet to this concealed door. And the other side of the concealed door is the massive cavern. There's a massive hall on the other side of the bronze doors.
Okay, how deep was the Archmage door then? Set into the wall?
That's the weird thing. The Archmage door appears to be set just almost magically in the middle of the hall, blocking the whole thing.
Okay, so effectively nothing.
Effectively nothing. It looks like it's surrounded by solid stone, but if it's surrounded by solid stone, it's the thinness of paper.
Okay, and is the how wide is the
These
Archmage
distances aren't
door?
going to make any sense. These distances aren't going to make any sense.
Okay, fair enough.
There's a dimension distortion spell here.
Are there any other doors off this hallway that we can see?
Nothing you can see here. It just vanishes into the east, into the distance.
And it doesn't look like it curves at all.
It looks as straight as a ruler.
All right. Shall we head down, Yuri?
Just let me finish this map. Okay, so after that door, it's 10 feet to the bronze doors.
To your west,
Yeah.
and then it vanishes in the east, and the corridor is 20 feet wide and 40 feet high.
Okay, my map is off center, but I will fix that later.
All right, that's fine by me.
Yeah, that's not your problem. So, okay, I'm ready to go.
All right, just start marching east. As you travel east, you notice two things. The corridor just keeps going, and the carvings, slowly but surely, become more and more sinister. At first, the pilgrims just look more and more subhuman. And then you see more and more odd creatures amongst the pilgrims. Until eventually,
See, Chad.
after an hour of going down the pathway, there's obviously demons and devils cavorting amongst the pilgrims, and the pilgrims are dancing with them. And then ahead of you, in the distance past your light, you see a strange glow coming. Part of the glow seems red, and part of it seems white. Oh, that's very good. Thank you. Well done. And as you get closer,
Gotta find the doors, man.
you don't find any doors so far, but as you get close to these lights, you see that from the left-hand side of the wall, the north side of the hall, is a white glow, and from the south side of the hall, the right side, is a red glow.
Okay,
And then up ahead of you,
north
you get
white,
closer
south
and
red.
closer. White to the left, north. Red to the south, right.
Okay, about how far down do we think we are?
Oh, you'd say 500 feet, 600 feet? you're traveling at dungeon speed, so you're going really slow and you're checking for secret doors.
Yep.
And then up ahead of you, the corridor continues past this, 20 feet wide. And past this, you see another vague red light. But here, on the left, you see a sort of a niche. It's 30 feet east to west and 20 feet north to south, mirrored on both sides. And there's pillars, stone pillars. They go up to the ceiling 40 feet, and each is about the thickness of a man's forearm. There's 6 of them. So they're easy to pass through if you turn yourself. To the north, there's what's obviously an altar. And at the top of the altar is a strange carving of a figure that looks like a man carved of ice eating a human.
Lovely.
And on the south is another altar, almost a mirror image, and on it is a creature made of living magma devouring a woman. There's a great deal of heat coming from the south altar with the ruddy red light, and you can feel the cold radiating off the north altar, chilling you to the bone with a bright white light. And then again in the east, in the distance, you can see a ruddy red light shining down from what looks like a vast room.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
Clarifying question: How wide is the space for the 2 altars? From the one entrance we've just came from, and towards the other entrance on the far end.
Sure, the altars themselves here are 20 is north, south, the 30 is east, west. And the altars inside are stepped up. There's steps leading up to them. And you'd say the base of the steps is, say, 15 feet wide. And the altar at the very top is only 3 by 5. So these steps go up to the altar like that.
Could you give the room dimensions again? You broke up.
Oh, sure. The niches that the altars are in are 30 east-west and 20 north-south. The footprint of the altars themselves is about 15 feet wide, 10 feet deep. And the very top of the altar is only 3 by 5.
Okay, what was the depth again?
20 feet away from the hallway, north-south.
Lovely.
If you stand in the very middle of the corridor, it's a perfect spring day. But if you go to the east, if you go to the south, it gets hotter and hotter until you feel like your clothes are smoldering when you're right next to the pillars. As you go north towards the ice altar, it gets colder and colder until you actually feel yourself starting to get frostbite as you stand close to the pillars. What you guys going to do?
Well, those altars are going to be hard to throw down.
Yeah. Especially if we don't have Calvin with us.
Yep.
So east it is.
All right. Barely 60 feet away from that, again, the hallway opens up. Now, ahead of you, this hallway continues. But to your north are a series of pillars. Each pillar is 3 feet thick. They're spaced 10 feet apart. There's 10 of them. Same on the south.
How much space in between them?
10 feet.
Oh, the room to the north is 100 feet east to west, and the room to the south is 100 feet east to west. It's also 100 feet north to south on each room.
Okay, so 100 by 100?
100 by 100.
Yikes.
The ceiling above you is glowing with a ruddy red light as if a forest fire was being reflected off clouds at night. It's very oppressive. You smell smoke almost. Now, the vast room to your north, at the very far wall, has a semicircular basin about 20 feet wide and 10 feet deep. And you can tell that it's full of water, and the water's churning as if it was waves in a heavy storm. The walls there are carved with images of seaweed, sharks, sahuagin, and winged devils. Finned devils and demons swimming about eating people. In the middle of the south wall of this vast room is a fireplace, 20 feet wide, 30 feet high, with a fire roaring in it. and the walls of it are carved to resemble a vast volcanic plain with bits of fire spurting through the ground here and there, and devils and demons cavorting about as they roast people alive. And ahead of you to the east, the tunnel continues, and in the distance you see a faint golden light.
That was water to the north, fire to the south?
Water to the north, fire to the south, correct.
You said there was frothing water in the basin in the north,
Yes.
in the basin in the south.
The fireplace in the
Fire?
south has a perpetual fire roaring in it, yes.
That's fire.
You can hear the sloshing of the water as if you were near a stormy sea, and you hear the roaring of the flames as if you were standing right next to a mighty bonfire.
Oh. Continue east.
Okay. You continue east past this. Luckily, you feel better and better the further you go. You're about 120 feet, and ahead of you, you see more doors. These are big, plain bronze doors, completely plain, and there are 2 logs that have been cut on a bias, placed against the ground, and they're holding up another crossbar. So
Cut
that
on a
block
what?
doors. The wood itself is obviously, and this doesn't make any sense, but it's true, 4-foot thick pillars of rosewood. And they're all carved with symbols like crucifixes, symbols of saints. They shine with a golden glow, and as you get closer, you feel better. It's obvious that they've been blessed and consecrated so that no evil creature could ever touch them, and they're being used to hold the doors on the very east shut. What do you guys do?
And these were plain brass doors.
They're almost identical to the doors in the cavern, but there's no markings on them of any sort. Correct.
How much further along from that last 100 by 100 room was this?
Let's see.
120 feet.
120?
Yeah, 120 more feet. Look at these pillars. You figure that 2 or 3 strong men could move these logs out of the way and easily open those doors.
And we'd be able to get them back in place.
Not even hard. They're obviously designed to be put in place very easily. The enchantment on them is so powerful that even your mercenaries would know that no creature of evil could ever touch these logs.
What do you think, Yuri? Should we go through the doors? Or
I'm hesitant without more members of the party here.
yeah, we could go poke the guy.
Yeah.
I will be honest, your henchmen say that based on the calculations, you get about 10 minutes where you have to head back if you want to make it to the Boma before nightfall. You've been underground a long time.
Okay.
We can go a little faster on the way back, I suppose.
Yes, you can go a lot faster on the way back. It's not like you're going to have to run for your lives or anything.
Yeah.
But you should leave now unless you want to sleep underground.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep,
All right.
let's set out.
You guys make it back about 20 minutes before nightfall, and again, you're welcome back with a hot meal and henchmen wanting to hear all about it. And holy moly, it's 10:31. Perfect timing.
We got spooky stories to tell them.
So what questions do you have before we wrap up tonight?
I don't think I have any questions. So there's like the usual mappings ones, which I'll figure
I'm
out
sure
on
we're going
my
to be
own.
talking about maps for some time, and I'm just going to warn you. I'm going to flat out tell you. There's a distance distortion spell active in the guard caverns area, and it messes up mapping.
Uh-huh.
Just to
I
clarify,
suppose-
careful. The water room was 100 feet deep off the court, off the chamber, and the fire room was also 100 feet.
Yeah, both rooms are 100 by 100 off of the chamber,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I figured.
and separated by big 3-foot. And the pillars are obviously not granite; they seem to be some sort of marble. The one in the north is a black marble veined with blue. The one in the south is black marble veined with red. And there's one thing I forgot. Yes, I apologize. The doors that come off the cavern, the bronze doors from the cavern itself, way back at the entrance. On the inside, there's a massive bar of metal sunk into the rock, obviously with magic. And Quint is convinced that it's pure adamantine that's sealing this door.
The
That's why you
entrance.
can't bash them open. There's an enchanted bar on the inside to prevent them from opening.
Okay.
Well, no wonder the cultists wanted to get through this door that we found.
Yes, it looks like it's maybe 500 pounds of pure adamantite enchanted. But you have to figure out some way of ripping it from the solid granite to get to it.
Well, we do have pickaxes, but that take fucking forever.
So, guys, it was a great session today, I have to say.
Oh yeah, lots of fun
we
stuff.
found all kinds of stuff.
No combat, no dice rolling for fighting, but I think there was a little bit of tension.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Scary stuff.
Like I said, I've read a lot of the vlogs, so it's like, oh yes, I know where the staircase is leading. I remember that secret
Staircase
door.
forever. Yeah. Well, you guys have found the eastern doors, which is a pretty big deal. And I'm going to flat out tell you, let's look at the next party. I'm just going to let you know, because this is a limited edition adventure. Those are the doors to level 2.
Yep.
And I'm also going to tell you what my players back in the 80s called level 2. The screener.
Fun.
They called it the screener because you either passed the interview and went on to level 3, or you got dead. There are more TPKs on level 2 than everything else in the dungeon put together.
Well, that means we'll probably be fine.
Well, that's the funny thing. You'll probably be fine. No, I mean it. You know, don't get me wrong. It's not a joke, and it's difficult. But if you pay attention and obey the rules, yeah, level 2 can actually be relatively simple. Lou Pulsifer, the great game theorist, and a very good friend of mine, God bless him, used to just ignore level 2. He flat out said, I figured out the secrets. I don't know how to rush through it. And he literally had a plan of when he explored a total of 11 levels of the dungeon by just ignoring level 2. And you can do it. You can.
Interesting.
Or you can mess with it, poke it, make some mistakes, and end up in the walls.
What?
All right, guys. Tonight was great. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. You're very indulgent. You're very patient. I like it a great deal. I'm so sorry that we didn't have everybody here. That just happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll do a write-up and send it out to the email list so the guys who weren't here get it. I recommend that you guys do the same from your perspective. That'll help everybody catch up.
Agreed.
I can also send the. I can render up a quick video of.
Oh, sure, that'd be
whatever
great.
recorded.
That'd be perfect.
So I've also been.
Thank you so much.
I've also been capturing the Discord as well, just so I
Yep.
can actually get those notes that we're getting here as well.
You know, I really appreciate this, and you guys are very cooperative. I've never done online gaming before, and you guys are convincing me it's a great idea. I really appreciate that. You're wonderful players. It's a ton of fun. Tomorrow afternoon is actually a company event for me, so I'm going to actually have a fair amount of time. If you have any questions, drop me a line.
For sure.
And again, thanks. Any questions before we wrap up for the evening?
One question.
Sure.
Do we know what kind of magic it would take to, or what kind of clerical power it would take to cleanse these altars?
Calvin is pretty sure that for these altars, if there's no other protective magics, which is a big if, a bless spell and a prayer spell should throw them down.
Okay, that's a level 1 and a level 3.
Correct. A level 1 spell followed by a level 3 spell should be enough to throw them down. That's
Okay.
usually for cult altar. That's assuming there's no other magic involved.
I'm almost certain there's other magic involved because
Actually, Calvin is pretty sure that's all that's here because these are lesser altars. It's not like a high altar of a temple or anything.
really,
Yeah, he's pretty sure this is just relatively minor magic. Now he says the 100 by 100 rooms, he's afraid to even enter those. But the small altars, he's pretty sure he can throw them down.
okay. So the ice and the lava altars, we can just take care of those quick.
Yep, ice and lava, he's pretty sure he can knock them down. Maybe a day per, and he
Yeah.
wants some guards just in case he's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, he can one day.
Well, the next few sessions, then probably, or next couple of days, we'll probably just be stocking the mountain with some equipment and supplies to weather out that storm. Then
Probably gonna
you broke up.
yeah.
You broke up,
And
Rick.
believe it or not, you guys talk about it. Nobody's ever spent the night in the boulder, ever.
Really?
It
Which
seems
cracks
really,
me up. I don't know why. I mean, it's got that massive couch that you can sleep on.
right. I didn't think about it until you talked about the couch, and I thought, well, that would be nice.
Yeah, like you got a 25-foot long, heavily upholstered couch with big, thick pillows. And nobody's ever like, oh, let's sleep there. I don't know why. You guys are like, oh, we can spend the night here. I'm like, yeah, nobody else has ever thought of that. That's great. I think the TV freaks them out a little bit.
That's true. I mean, we can turn it all the way down, but it's still going to make
freaks-
some noise.
It freaks Yuri out for sure. But he's just like, well, if someone suggested that we stay there, if we were close enough, he probably would do it. It's just a matter of it's so alien technology to these medieval people.
Yeah.
And of course, we don't know what else is in there.
It's probably not big enough to fit us all in there, right?
Probably not with
Actually,
the
it would be a
mercenaries.
really tight fit, and the horses wouldn't make it. The
Maybe
horses. Killer.
we'll bring everyone in the mountain then.
Well, you guys have figured out, especially with the kitchen with the cistern, you can easily put everyone in the mountain.
But we'd well, could we get all the horses up there? And that's the big thing, I think.
The main guardhouse entrances, all those doors are easily big enough to get a horse through. And you couldn't leave them in the stables in the main cavern, but you could easily put them in that first, what they call the guard room, that 30 by 30 just inside.
Yeah. And
Leave the
that
guards cavern, put the horses there, or put the horses further down in the very long room that the bugbears were in.
It's probably a better
Almost
place
as if
for them.
it used to be a stable at one point.
so we've got tomorrow before the rain starts.
You got one more day before rain starts, and then it's basically going to rain for 3 more days, according to the boulder.
All right. So I think tomorrow we want to try to get everybody inside.
There was risk of rain today, right as well?
You had a light rain in the afternoon, right? But it's over by the time you guys leave the mountain.
Yeah. But that, I think, is enough confirmation to kind of give us... The boulder is giving us accurate information.
As far as you can tell, the boulder is extremely accurate. Oh, and almost one more thing. You guys checked in the boulder. At what's called the hours, which is dawn, sunset, noon, midnight, and what you and I would call 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on the Weather Channel, you get a broadcast from the Lunar News Network. It's mainly gibberish to you, but they do talk about how the Lords, the Renegade Duke, and that's all.
You broke up.
Yes. The news is largely about all sorts of things that is basically meaningless to you. It'd be like talking about the people from a foreign country, but you do hear that the lords are being troubled by the renegade duke. And everything else is mainly as if you were talking about a village that you never visited. So-and-so is mad at such and such, etc.
Yeah.
But yes, 5 times a day there's 6 times a day there's a broadcast from the Lunar News Network on the Weather Channel.
Interesting.
Crazy. All right. Well, thank you very much, Rick. This is
Hey
amazing.
man, I hope you guys are having fun.
Yeah,
I am.
ditto.
Like I said earlier, this is really convincing me that online gaming works.
This has convinced me to
Guys,
try
thanks
and...
again. Yes.
This is convincing me to try and run a Osric campaign like this.
Listen, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I run this the way that I run for my own group, and I've been running since about 1978, 79. I find it very almost relaxing to run this way, and I hope you guys are getting something out of it because it's a ton of fun for me. I hope that you're enjoying it, but theater of the mind plus a little bit of mystery can go a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. I'm going to sign off and get out of here. Take good care of yourselves, and we'll figure out. I'm hoping that we can play again on, let's see, the 16th. 2
Okay.
weeks. So check that. We'll pass it around to the other crew, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Sounds
Thanks,
good.
everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You too.
You too.
Holy shit.
We
Okay,
found
recording stopped.